Some people think I think too much, and I think people don't think enough. On today's Unnamed Real Estate Podcast. Did I sound bitter? Hi. My name is Charles Ray Dawson. This is the Unnamed Real Estate Podcast, episode 96. I am the associate broker and residential sales manager for ProStar Realty here in Phoenix, Arizona. And it is December the 1st. So, hope you guys are all having a good last month of the year. All right, I want people start thinking about those things. It's like it's 24 shopping days left till Christmas, maybe technically 23. I guess you could always run out on Christmas morning to Circle K or something like that and pick up some toothpaste or whatever you're going to try to gift somebody with. But hey, so where was I going to start? I was going to start talking, turn the camera on, look at the little light, start talking in the camera, because this is what I do. So, we are at the end of the year, right? And at the end of the year, people start, we got this holiday surge that happens. It tends to keep people really busy. I mean, there's Christmas parties and whatnot, and shopping and, eggnog, if you're lucky. And then all of a sudden at the end of Christmas, you got New Year's, everybody plans for that. And then you wake up with that New Year's hangover and you start thinking to yourself, oh, what am I going to do with the rest of this year? And that's where New Year resolutions come in. And New Year's is the worst time of the year to start a resolution. All right. You can start a resolution today, right now, this second. You too can suddenly come up with the one plan that's going to change your life for the better, for the future. But you're probably not going to. But I encourage all my agents, and I encourage myself, is you need to start thinking about what you're going to be doing next year, well before next year, right? Pretty much everything that happens in December in real estate, you are actually doing in September and October, right? That's why I always say September pays for Christmas, guys. All right, that fourth quarter is always going to be slow in Phoenix, all right? Things start backing off. And as we can see by the numbers that we're going to get to here shortly, oh yes, winter is here, all right? But and then there will be a spring, a glorious spring, all right? And we need to start prepping for that now. So what we're going to do is I'm going to talk the numbers. I'm going to talk about where we are. And then on the other side of the numbers, we're going to come back and we're going to discuss where we want to be on today's Unnamed Real Estate Podcast. So numbers, all right, December 1st, 2022, actives this week are 19,355, which is down 416 from last week. Yes, we are starting to lose inventory again. Yay, team. New listings that were put on were 1,009, which is down 560. Our pendings this week were 838, down 259 from the week before. Under contracts looking for backups are 481, down 168 from the week before. Contracts with a buyer contingency are at 74, down 5. Closings last week, and remember, okay, guys, end of the month closings. The end of the month week is always the highest for closings, right? We were at 903. And coming soon to an ML list near you, these are people who are expecting to put their house on the market within the next 30 days, 270. Cromford report numbers, our demand right now is at 71.7 and our supply has ticked up to 81.4. What does this mean to you? Yes, it's winter. It's December. We are going to have these bad numbers in December. Let's take a look at some other things, right? These are all going to be a little bit out of time and out of order and stuff like that, but back on November 24th, when they ran the Cromford report numbers for each city, we're looking at Fountain Hills, still a seller's market at 148 Cromford index. Scottsdale still technically in the seller's market at 116. Cave Creek is in the medium point at 107. Paradise Valley also at the medium point at 99.2. And then the bloodshed begins. We go to Phoenix at 87.1, right? And I want to point something out about Paradise Valley. Do you notice that last month, their index was 135, definitely a buyer's or seller's market, and now they're at 99.2. They dropped 27% in Paradise Valley, all right? What could have caused that? Maybe a whole bunch of people had crypto in FTX and now they don't have anything anymore. Who knows? All right. But it just starts dropping down from there. Phoenix, Chandler, Glendale, Tempe, Gilbert, Peoria, Mesa. Surprise actually went up a little bit. Surprise. All right. Goodyear, Avondale, Maricopa, Queen Creek, and Buckeye. Right. So if you want your deals, boys and girls, okay, Buckeye, Queen Creek, Maricopa, that's where the deals are to be had. Also in Avondale, be a pretty good place to look. In Goodyear, Surprise, Mesa, these are all definitely into the buyer's market side, and that's where you can go out and just completely take the wind right out of some seller and ask them for everything. Right, let's go to another number here that I wanted to show you. Right, these are the listings under contract. Right, these are the ones that directly affect real estate agents, appraisers, home inspectors, escrow officers, title officers. Right, listings under contract. These are houses that are actually listed, and then the contract was written on them. So all of these people that I was telling you about, all right, suddenly have work to do. We were at 11,000 listings under contract in May. We are down here in the about, what would that be, about 6,600 or so? That's what we've dropped down, almost 50% drop, all right? Now, here's the weird number. Over here, we have the next chart, monthly average sales price per square foot. Look at May. That's back where we had 11,000 under contract. We've only dropped down. All right, we're looking at May. Would that be turn the light up? One of the problems with getting old is I really can't see as well as I used to with these tiny, tiny little screens. That would be about $305 a square foot. And now we've dropped down to last month where we're about $273 or so. You'd think with a drop like this, and you would think with a drop like this, you would see more of a drop here in monthly sales price per square foot. And that's if houses were actually going under and closing. Here's the interesting thing you got to remember when you look at this. A house does not lose value until the houses on either side of it sell for less. Houses aren't selling. Since houses aren't selling, we don't have the metrics that will affect the sales price per square foot. Right? If houses were flying off the shelves at these low discount prices, then you would see this thing really come down. Right? That's where you get that issue right there going on. Right? So we are coming down. There is talk that there are going to be certain cities, maybe even here in the Phoenix area, that are going to be upside down come at the turn of the year. Or I should not have said upside down. Strike that. Burn that out of your brain. I did not say upside down. But what I is saying is that they're going to actually have depreciated in value year over year. Right? Because we're balanced out right here, but here's that little trend start because now we're going into the winter doldrums. And remember, some of these houses have to sell. People are transferring out of state. They have to sell their house to get, when they transfer out of state. Some people, it's an estate sale. Those houses, greedy heirs want the money out of it. Those houses have to sell. There's always going to be that churn going on. Right? And those people are going to be putting their houses out there and less and less. Right? Remember, you're not upside down in your house until you owe more on it than it's worth. All right, and you haven't lost money on any asset until you sell it for less than you purchased it for. All right, but watch these numbers right here. We're anticipating. All right, let's talk a little bit about the news real quick. All right, two data points that have popped in. All right, data point number one. All right, lenders are reporting that more people are starting to apply for new home loans. Right, that's the first step people do until they become a buyer. Right, they need to get the money lined up, and then they call their real estate agent. What they should do, normally they just call the real estate agent. We refer you out to a lender. I have several. All right, but it's that application is the first start because a smart real estate agent will not let you into their car until they have a pre-qualification letter from you. We've covered that before. So, the fact that people are starting to put in applications again and people are starting to report, hey, people are starting to apply for loans again, that's a really good sign, right? Interest rates are bouncing around about 6. Knock came back, sent me an email yesterday saying that their loans right now on a 30-year fixed is at 6.25, right? Last time I read a knock number off to you, it was at 6. So it's there at the, 6.25 or so. Remember, people were forecasting we might see 5s. Still might see by the end of the year. All right. But people are leaning forward in that, realizing that's what's going to happen, especially as we see the Fed and the Fed chair respond favorably to our unemployment, because remember, they love high unemployment, gives them an excuse to lower interest rates, right? And the slowing economy, they love that too, gives them an excuse to lower interest rates, right? In case you ever wonder why these guys seem to want everybody unemployed and not working, that's because they love low interest rates. So that's the first data point that we got, and that's the first thing I wanted to mention, right, is that could start to reverse everything we've been seeing here. Listings under contract, more buyers, means we'll start coming up. Means that this number right here, all right, our demand will start trending up. All right, we are just, I was trying to work this math out, we are just under 10% spread. Remember, over 10 delta between these two numbers is considered a buyer's market or a seller's market. All right, 0.3, all right, and that puts us at 9.7. Right, is less than 10. Technically, that's a balanced market again. We had a little bit of buyer's market a couple weeks ago. Now we're back in. Right, interesting. So let's see how this all plays out. Going back to that is this just going to be a little winter hiccup? All right, spiked by the interest rates. All right, people start coming back in. If the Fed decides they're not going to play around with those interest rates anymore, or maybe they're not going to be doing these 3/4, the 0.75, changes that they've been doing. Maybe they only do 0.5. Maybe they only do 0.25. Maybe they just say, oh, hey, let's not do anything real quick. Well, let's see how the rest of this game plays out. All right. Might start seeing fives again. And I think when you see fives, you're going to see a whole bunch of pent-up demand slam back into the market, and you're going to be seeing houses starting to sell again. All right. Will it be soon enough to save real estate companies, and will it be soon enough to save, escrow companies? I do not know. All right. My little birds out there, been watching Game of Thrones again, so it's like, all various and whatnot. But, my little birds are telling me, okay, that escrow companies are hemorrhaging people again. All right. There was a report that came out a little while ago saying that something along the lines of 30% of small businesses are not able to pay rent this month. 30%. Right? And 40% of real estate companies are not able to make rent this month. Right? So is this spring thaw that will kick people loose, that will get closings happening again, going to happen soon enough to save some of these companies, to save some of these jobs, save some of these agents? I don't know. Right, but hopefully, well, one, I'm going to be here. Guarantee it. Unless I get killed in a car accident, my wife decides she can't stand my snoring anymore, all right? I shall be here with you, gazing into the darkness. But I'm very optimistic about the future, and I hope you are too. So one other thing I wanted to call out is a news that came out of Bloomberg saying that rents are starting to drop. Now, before you start sharing, all right, rents are dropping. They didn't drop that much. They've dropped 1%, all right, month over month, all right. And we've been talking about how we're starting to see more rental properties show up on the MLS, which is always the last resort for landlords. They would rather just put the sign for rent out in front and have somebody call them. But if they can't find anybody that way, then they go to a real estate agent. Then they put it on the MLS. Then they're willing to pay to have somebody bring somebody in. Rents are starting to drop down and stuff like that. But there's two reasons for that. One, good reason. All right. Supply is increasing because more people are building apartments. Right? This is important. This is what we want to see. All right. The second thing, which is not as good, is demand is decreasing because household formation is falling. Remember, a household in real estate is any people living with other people. If you're just by yourself, you are a household. If you have a boyfriend or girlfriend and you're living separate, that is two separate households. You moved in together, all right? You move in together, and now you are one household. That decreases the amount of households out there, right? People are moving in with roommates. People are staying at home and moving in with mom and dad. Mom and dad are coming and moving and living with the kids. Right? People are getting room. This is not what we want to see on the real estate side. All right? We want to see supply, meaning demand. Right? But Sounds like they're getting their way. They're getting the demand destruction, and they're getting more people to move in together, which means there's less people looking, less total homes needed. And so that's where we see that correction. It's all economics, guys. It's economics 101. All right. If you have not attended college, or did not pay attention in your economics class because you were going to be a, I don't know, human resources manager or something that you didn't think you needed economics for, go on YouTube. There's like 30 different economic YouTube channels. They will break this down for you Barney style. They will pull out the sock puppets and explain supply and demand to you, right? And everybody needs and understand that. If you have an understanding of economics, editorial here, if you have an understanding how economics work, you will live in a world that does not surprise you. It might disappoint you. It may concern you, but you won't be surprised when all of a sudden you see $5 a gallon for your gas, because you will understand what happens when you shut down the Keystone Pipeline, and you're not confused. Whole bunch of people, but we voted the way that was supposed to make my life better, and now it sucks. Well, sucks to be you, bitch. I'm keeping that in there because, hey, we're having a good time today. All right? So, breathe, mellow. Let's talk about what we're going to do with all of this. All right? We are at the end of the month, all right, or the end of the year. All right? We got 5 Thursdays going on. Right, this is Thursday number 1. Last Thursday is going to be on the 29th, right? I have assigned all my agents to start working on their business plans for next year, and I'm going to spend the next 4 episodes of this going through how to build your own business plan. Now, most of you guys aren't going to be in real estate. Some of you guys have side gigs. Some of you guys just work for somebody else, right? But a business plan, and using it in a format of business plan, turn it over and goes, what is your life's plan going to be for next year? What are your goals? What are the steps you're going to take to get those goals? What assets are you going to need to achieve those goals? And how do you sit there watching my show next year, in December 2023, and going, God damn, I'm glad I listened to Ray. Look at how much better my life is right now because I made a plan for next year, all right, and I implemented it, and look where I am now compared to where I went then. So, and I guess I just promised you guys I'm going to be doing this for another year. And gosh, okay, so long story short, thank you guys very much for watching it. I hope you dealt with my little spastic moments and everything there. Work your circles, all right? If you watch your children and pets around water because they might fall in and get hypothermia, all right? And you guys have a great day, all right?